Hello, everyone. Happy 4th of July, and welcome to the Abundology podcast. My name is Renee Spears, and I'm a Law of Attraction mentor and spiritual advisor, and I help people be happy and attract more money, love, time, and joy in their lives. I'm coming to you from downtown Portland, Oregon, and this is the weekly energy update for the week of July 4th, 2021. Every Sunday, I talk about how the energy is going to be for the week ahead, and I also infuse the show with some positive vibes, so you do get a little positive energy boost just for listening. And summer is in full swing, and the world seems to be opening up again. And it may seem like we're completely transforming our reality right now, rather than returning to the old normal. And these feelings of change come just in time for the new moon in Cancer on Friday, July 9th. So this new moon inspires a collective reset. It's like a life reset button for all of us. So a new lunar cycle begins with this new moon, and it's a really welcome break from all of the eclipse energy that we've been working with, and it represents the first few steps on the new path that the eclipses have laid for us. Now, we know the eclipses are potent rebirthing portals. They can close doors, they can open doors, and they shake up our lives in an effort to push us forward on the path of higher consciousness. So this new and higher path laid out by the eclipses has now arrived. And this July new moon represents the first stage on our journey. So as we set out on this journey, the July new moon is the perfect opportunity to set intentions about what we want to embody as we begin this new chapter. So as we talked about last week, until the new moon on the 9th, which is Friday, we're currently taking kind of like an energetic break, and we're getting back to a place of balance. And this also brings some reflecting on the huge changes that have taken place within us. And we also see these huge changes happening in society. So millions and millions of people aren't going back to the jobs that they had before. I just read an article in, I think it was the Washington Post, that 4 million people in April alone quit their jobs. And it's because COVID was a wake-up call. It gave us an opportunity for self-reflection, and it affected people's personal values and their identity on a deep level. And this caused us to reevaluate and reprioritize what's important to us. So this new moon is our opportunity to start living these new values, to bring them into being, to actually make the shifts and live more fulfilling lives. And we have to remember that all of us are different stages of this, so don't compare yourself to anybody else. Some of you may already be going full steam ahead towards the new life. And others of us are taking our sweet time, and we're slowly making the changes. Either way, we just want to enjoy the ride and appreciate where we are. So this is a time to be very intentional about how we want to live. We need to take this time seriously. So as we move forward on the new path with this new moon, you want to make sure that we're moving forward intentionally. Because if you don't, we'll run the risk of falling back into our old habits and our old life. And that would be a complete shame after all that we have been through. So when you go through something really difficult, you have a couple of choices. You can choose to remain the same or a victim, or you can choose to come out the other side more enlightened, wiser, stronger, knowing yourself better. So let's use this difficult time to propel ourselves forward. And that's clearly what I'm going to choose to do. So I mean, as we might as well use it for that, all this pain and hurt and shock. We might as well use all of that to make ourselves and our life better. And that's where we find ourselves this week, making the conscious decision to live more in alignment with ourselves. We want to reflect on what we want and commit to it before we start making any big moves forward. So also this month we have Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, and Chiron all retrograde. And the word retrograde, gets a bad rap thanks to you, Mercury. But 4 to 5 months of each year, these slow moving outer planets from Jupiter out to Pluto are in this retrograde or kind of like powered down position. And every retrograde operates like a brake pedal. But in this case, it's not always a bad thing. So the outer planet retrogrades give us the chance to reflect, to adjust our plans, to really think things through. So luckily, the new moon on the 9th gives us a chance to emotionally reset, helping us acknowledge and nurture both our needs and the needs of those people that we're closest with. So this is a great time to check in on your emotional journey. Do you really believe that things work out for the best? Do you really believe in divine timing? Do you believe in yourself? Do you trust your intuition? Now is the time to get real with yourself before we move forward. And if you discover things that you want to change, then make a plan and change them. Now's the time. This is the time to get real with yourself. This new moon is an important first step on our journey, and how you take it will determine the next part of your life. Okay, so these are some big things that we're talking about right now. Get back this first part of this week and last week, getting ourselves back into balance. And now thinking about how we want our life to be, because that's going to influence the next chapter of our life. So we want to be real. We want to be intentional. We want to be thoughtful. And this new moon is the perfect opportunity to set some intentions about what we want to embody as we begin this new chapter. And the Cancer energy of this new moon, it's really supportive for this. And it helps us navigate the early stages of this new path. So it's just perfect timing all the way around. Once again, divine timing. I love how all these things fit together. Okay, we've taken a break. Now we need to get intentional and do some thinking. But we have this Cancer new moon supporting us and helping us navigate this time. So think of this time as like right before you would head out on an epic journey. Say you're hiking the Pacific Coast Trail, and you've done long hikes before and you know what not to do. So you know you need to reflect then on what you learned on the last hike and adjust for this one. Maybe you now know how important it is to have a great friend with you on the adventure and not go it alone. Maybe you now know to pace yourself more. Maybe you now know to enjoy each day of the hike. So we're currently in the energy of planning the hike, of packing your backpack. Like, what do you need to bring with you? What can you leave behind? What will make this hike so much more enjoyable than the last hike? So we have some thinking and we have some planning to do. And the good news is that we have these wonderful summer vibes to do just that. The energy is really supportive for thinking and planning and moving forward with the highest intentions. So spend an afternoon in a hammock or talking with friends on the front porch about life, or just appreciating how wonderful it is to be in a place where we are able to create the next chapter. And not only that, we're creating the next chapter as wiser, more intentional, enlightened people. And that's where we're starting. So if that's where we're starting, just think of how wonderful it's all going to end out and how great the journey is going to be. Whew, what a week, what a time, and man, I am excited about this next chapter in life. So as usual, thank you for listening. I did post a podcast this week on spiritual weight loss with Addie Beale, and it's damn good, if I do say so myself. There's a lot of words of wisdom from Addie in this podcast, so I do recommend listening to it if you haven't already. So have a fabulous 4th. Think about packing that backpack for your journey right now and making the plans, reading the map, where you're going to go, what you're going to do, how's it going to turn out. Have a fabulous week, and I will talk to you next week.